16th episode of Not an Island Podcast. It has been a long time, but we're back at it. We're your hosts. I'm Todd.
I'm Amanda.
We're the Johnsons, and we're here with a new friend, Amanda, also Amanda. And she is here from Autism on the Seas. We messed that up before, but we got it right this time. So she's here from Autism on the Seas. It's a really cool organization, but I'm not going to steal her thunder. We're going to go ahead and just kind of get into it. But at first, if you can, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, perfect. So, like I said, I'm another Amanda. So my name is Amanda Storer, and so I do a lot of things, but one of the things that I love and I do is I work with Autism on the Seas. And so I am a group leader for Autism on the Seas, which just means I coordinate families and volunteers while we're on vacations. And so we'll get into the meat of what we do with Autism on the Seas, but that's essentially what I do. I'm also a physical therapist assistant. And so I've been doing pediatric therapy for 17 plus years. And yeah, and then I teach at a junior college here in Tyler, Texas, and so in the physical therapist assistant program there. So I've been doing that for about 10 years now.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is off the topic. What is your favorite part about it?
My favorite part about what?
About
which one?
Oh, Lord.
My life.
Yeah.
Teaching therapy.
In general, what's your favorite part about it? I know we were talking about earlier, you like giving back. Like, that's your thing.
Yeah, so I think service is a big part of my life. I tend to tell my students that, to not like pursue a career, but like to choose something that like their life mantra, their goal. And so my life goal is to advocate for others. And so no matter what I do, like that is my career. And so no matter what I choose under that umbrella, it should always align itself with that. And so I can do that with my therapy job. I can do that with my, even in education, because I'm teaching others how to advocate for others in the field that they're going into. And then with Autism on the Seas, and just in any other activity that I do in the community. And so I have other nonprofits that I affiliate with that also advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves or who, need some help. So, and I can do that.
That's amazing.
So very much a voice to the voiceless too.
Yeah.
Sounds like. That's awesome.
I love that. And it's people like you who do the things that you do that make our lives so much different. Like you guys leave such an impact on our kids. And so, that's amazing. I love
Actually, if you are a parent watching this to a child with autism or a child with special needs in general, I'll say, and you've been impacted, leave a comment down below if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yes, therapists are amazing.
Yeah, or if you just want to leave a comment, you have something to say, we'd love to hear your opinion, and all that. But, and so I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but your advocacy, your heart for advocacy probably led you into Autism on the Seas? Or
Yeah, so a little bit. So my journey with Autism on the Seas started actually through my work. So I was treating a child with autism at an autism center here in the area. And I met a volunteer there a staff member at that location who was also a volunteer with Autism on the Seas. And so she was telling me, she was like, hey, your heart for service and your love for travel would go perfectly with this organization. Like, I think you would really love it. And so I really pursued that and looked into it and applied. But, the thing that really got me was I was thinking she chooses to do this on her time off. Like she is using paid time off to do this. So I said, there must be a good balance between, actual service and work and like rest and play built into this organization and in these trips that they go on in order for someone that's going to volunteer their time to continue to do that again and again, right?
From a healthy standpoint.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so the fact that you would utilize some of your vacation time where usually people would go with their families on vacation and things like that for the organization, like it had to be something pretty special. So yeah. And of course, it is. So I applied in 2018, took my first cruise in 2019. And so December of this year, it will be my 21st trip with Autism on the Seas.
Wow.
So I would say it's a little special. So
Yeah,
Just
right?
a little.
That's crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. You just jumped in head first.
Yeah, that's cool.
awesome.
I did.
Yeah. So we did say what we're going to talk about that is Autism on the Seas. So for the people that don't know, us halfway included, what is Autism on the Seas?
I will educate you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Autism on the Seas, we are an organization that offers vacation services for people with disabilities or people with special needs. And that could be our cruise vacations. We also have resort vacations. So, beaches through Turks and Caicos, Walt Disney World resort stays. We do that as well. But our main focus is cruising. And so, we do that lots of different ways. And so, we offer assistance, so staff assistance on those cruises. And then that's our predominant offering that we offer. And then if you can't go on a staff assisted cruise, then we will offer assistance on cruises that maybe our teams aren't even on. So
Right.
Wow.
support and resources.
So it's not only, see, that's where I was wrong. I thought maybe it was only locked to specific cruises, but it sounds like you can just kind of put staff with, as long as the I guess, organization would be accommodating of it.
Yeah, so we have what we call staff assisted cruises. And so our schedule will say these are the cruises that we already have staff attributed to. Like
Right.
we already have them contracted on these cruises. And then you can choose to go on one of those. But let's say your schedule doesn't align with that and you need to go on another cruise and maybe we're not on that cruise with the team. We have resources, we have supports that you can go through our organization to get, help in how do I get on the ship? How do I navigate once I'm on the ship? Can I get special seating, reserved seating, and things like that?
Yeah.
And we don't have to have a team on there for us to tell you how to do that and how to communicate with the special needs departments of the ships and things like that to help guide you through that journey, even if you're not on one of ours.
That's cool.
That is
yeah.
amazing.
So not only just like giving the resources, but also helping people with their personal journey
Yeah.
on, I say resources, but yeah, resources from a distance even.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
That's cool. We did already ask this next
Yeah.
question. How did you
gonna
get
say
involved with
that.
Autism on the Seas?
Yeah.
But is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so I think there's different levels of involvement with Autism on the Seas, and so I think it's interesting to talk about our staff volunteers, and so our general staff that go on these cruises, they are volunteers, and so they are volunteering their time to go on this. We don't have like paid staff that go on these cruises. The group leaders do kind of coordinate some, so they get some of their travel paid for and things like that.
Sure.
So there is some incentive there, and so but you can kind of step into the role of a group leader, if that's, something that is needed. And then, if that's something that the organization feels like you're moving into as you've gone through your journey as a volunteer. And so, but I think it's great to know that all of our volunteers are like fully vetted in being able to handle pretty much any situation with a lot of different diagnoses, not just autism. And so we have people that are, retired SPED teachers or SPED teachers, ABA therapists, RBTs, PT, OT, speech, assistant level. So, and just have ample experience with, all types of, issues that come with any kind of special need. So it's just really neat to
That's
be a part of
amazing.
something.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that it was a volunteer basis. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who aren't getting paid a penny, but they're coming to
Yeah. They're
serve
probably
these
paying their own way.
families.
Yeah, a
Wow.
lot of them are. So, if they're close to if they have a home port that's close to them, then if they choose to go out of their home port, then there's not a whole lot of expenses to get there. But if they choose, like they want to go on a different cruise that's, not out of their home port, then yeah, they would choose to make that decision to contract a cruise out of that. And so they may have to pay for their transportation to get there. So,
Man.
yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then I think just not only meeting the families that are on these trips, and staying connected that way, and just creating this environment, this culture that we have in this community, but also the staff, just getting to meet staff from all over the world, and then taking different ideas from them, like. What do how do you guys operate and how do you do this in
Yeah.
your state? And,
Yeah.
Okay.
what have you seen in your clinic and, things like that. And so it's just it's a neat environment to be a part of just in general. But yeah.
Yeah, that
So-
sounds like it. That makes sense though. It's kind of a mixing bowl or a melting pot, if you will.
Yeah,
of
it
like,
really is.
You can bounce off each other's expertise, experience, network, all the above.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So
it's
That's
really fun.
cool.
Is Autism on the Seas a nonprofit?
So the Autism on the Seas itself, it's a business, and so it runs like a travel agency.
Right.
We do have a Autism on the Seas Foundation,
Yes.
and that is the nonprofit side of it.
So people
And
can give
yes,
into that.
so people can donate. And it
Wink,
goes,
wink.
Yeah.
you can donate, and it goes directly into assisting families on vacations as well. So we
cool.
have a grant system that families can apply for grants in order to be able to go on particular cruises,
Wow.
and so they can get grants towards their financial
awesome.
assistance
That's
towards
so
their
awesome.
vacations.
I'm not gonna lie, like coming from a parent's perspective,
Yep.
seeing people so freely giving of their time, their finances, their resources, their energy,
Yep.
all of that to a community that, I will be honest, in my opinion, is probably one of the most underserved communities in
Yeah,
the world.
yeah.
Is children with special needs, and subsequently their parents like us, like,
Right.
you know, we get worn down.
Yeah.
Like we get very worn down, and I know you do too, even
Yeah.
as a professional. But coming from a parent's perspective, having respite care that we can look at the individuals helping our children and know that, okay, these people, like you said, these people are vetted. These people
Yes.
care. These
Yep.
people, I mean, they wouldn't be here if they didn't
Yeah.
care about what they do. And
Yep.
so that's awesome.
That's amazing. That would be an amazing thing truly to give into. I feel like that would bless some families. So do
Yeah.
it. Do it.
Yeah, it's just really exciting. And so I really charge, families to look into it and see if this is something that they would, be interested for them as well. But I think that's one of the greatest things is just that sense of community that comes out of it. And so, and that's
Yeah.
what keeps people coming back. And
sure.
so, and just something that they thought they would never be able to do on top of that, and people giving towards this organization for people to be able to take a vacation. Yes, it is kind of unheard of. We talk about people getting stuff that, okay, I can see it's medically necessary, and so we're
Right.
going to give towards those things.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
but this is a leisurely activity. It's
Right.
vacation, but it's also something that you're just like, this is such a need for our
Yeah,
families
it
to be
is.
able to have a break, and
People don't know that.
they have no idea. And so, to be able to provide that for families, and I think our volunteers that are surrounded by those families every day, surrounded by those kids, and they know what they go through on a daily basis, to be able to provide them an opportunity to like rest and relax and take a breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
And usually our staff are the ones that are like, get out, like go
Yeah, yeah,
away,
go do your
leave your
thing.
kid, go do your
Yeah.
thing. I don't care what you do, like go in the hot tub, go take a nap, whatever,
Right.
just go. And so for those families to be able to like take down those barriers and
That's
remove those
amazing.
walls.
Even have a
and do
little
that.
date,
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
We were just talking on the way here. We drove a few hours to come here, and like we got into the gas station, and I told Amanda, my wife Amanda, once again, I told Amanda, I said,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't have two kids grabbing on my clothes
it's
and
true.
reaching for
it's
everything.
like so foreign. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
what do we do with ourselves?
But it is it's a very overlooked topic is families. I mean, we've been doing a seminar lately, and we put it together. One of the slides in the seminar that I found off of another source, special needs families. So the general divorce rate in the United States hovers around 50%. Even now, for special needs families, it's averages around 87%.
Isn't that
Yep.
crazy?
So if you are a mom and dad and you have a child with special
Yeah.
needs, you're already
Yeah,
against the current.
those odds are stacked.
Yeah. And so it's so important to see people doing what you do.
Yes.
You know.
And creating community. I love that I remember when we talked to you, that just stuck out so much to me, because the reason we started doing this was to let other families know they're not alone.
Yep.
And when you get on a cruise and you're kind of stuck,
Yeah.
with some families, and you realize, wow, they're going through the same thing as me. And that has to form such, a good friendship and a bond. And I think that's just an amazing thing overall.
powerful.
So, yeah.
It's really neat. I mean, we have families now that I had a cruise over the summer that had 5 families that they've connected through Autism on the Seas, and now they plan their cruises
go
together
together.
because they want
I
to go
love
together.
it.
So they
I
didn't
love
even
it.
know each other before, and they live all over the states, and now they're
Man.
coming together and like planning their vacations together. So and that's the time
That's
that
so
they come
cool.
together. So it's just, it's a really, really neat
cool.
process. So, yeah.
That's really cool. So we talked about what it is.
Yeah.
What does it look like on the day to day? Like what is it? Say
Yeah.
I'm a parent of child with
Yeah.
special needs. I'm fighting off motion sickness, like we talked about, and
We've given you all the great tips,
you've
so
given
you
us
can
all
do
great
that,
tips
right?
and the C bands and the
Yes.
patches and everything.
There's all kinds of lovely tips for
the
motion
ginger
sickness.
snacks. And,
So, so what it looks like from our perspective, and so we provide a lot of different services on board, but from the moment you arrive to port, like we are there. And so you pull in, you're not even on the ship yet, you get out, you're there with your luggage and we are there. And so we call our team Orange because we are wearing orange the entire time. So you can't miss us. We're like all in orange, there we are.
Team
And so
Orange.
we're like all connect with an orange person and then we will not leave your side until you leave that ship.
That's cool.
And so we are there to help you through the check-in and the security process. And so we expedite you through that process because it can be a little stressful if you're on your own and like, which line do I go in? And and I have to wait and, that's not great. And then where do I go once I get through this? And so we expedite through that process. We have specific lines that we go through. We do not wait.
Cool.
So, we're taking you through that process to get you on the ship.
Yeah.
And then once you're on the ship, we are there pretty much every step of the way to kind of guide you through and navigate the ship. So a lot of our families, the first time they've cruised, they've never even been on a ship. So they don't know. They're like, I don't even know, where the front is from the back. Exactly.
Right.
So we are going to help you through that process. We have a sea day may look a little bit different than a port day. So when we're out at sea all day, we assist. We start in the morning and we assist at breakfast. And so with meal assistance. And so that could look a lot of different ways, whatever you're comfortable with. But it's like the family, we could either assist you walking through the buffet line, or we could sit with the guest that needs to be sat with, and you go and get it and bring it back. And so we kind of accommodate what you want. And so, if the kid wants to go and look at all the food, and they just need an extra hand to hold the plates or whatever, or to make it back to our reserved area, then that's great. And so we can do that as well. On a sea day, usually after breakfast, we do an activity on the ship. So pool time, we have staff assisted where we have assistants there. Water slides, flow rider, which is like the simulated surfing, all those things. So we have staff assistants, meaning our staff is there to assist. And so you can choose as a family to do that activity with your child. You can get in the pool if you want. We're not going to say don't get in the pool with your kid. You may want to interact with them, but you may not. You may want to be like, I'm going to chill over here on this chair and, whatever. And so, and that's perfectly fine. And so with staff assisted, the availability for that with the staff assisted activities. And then, we provide meal assistance at lunch again. And then the unique thing about our program and our organization is that on sea days, we provide 2 respite sessions, and on port days, we provide 1. And so we have a 2-hour respite session after lunch. And so that means you come and drop them off with us in a designated space. And we provide, activities and, just care for them while you leave and you go away. And so
this is every day.
This is every day.
That is so cool.
So when we are at sea, we have one in the afternoon after lunch, and then we have one after dinner. And so there are 2 on the sea days. And then when we're on ports, so we have one after dinner. And so a lot of times you're either out at port, exploring and things like that when we're in a port. And so we don't have that afternoon respite, but we do have the evening respite. So so that's a big draw for families to be like, wow, so that's huge to be able to come and drop them off and have them and know that they're going to be safe and secure and that they have people that understand their needs and, and that's what we provide. And then, we also provide excursion assistance. So we will have planned staff beach excursions where our families, the ones that want to come with us, we have an already set aside excursion where we provide transportation. It's already arranged. We have a meeting spot. We get off together. We get on the transport together. We go to the beach club together. We get off. And so it's just that ease of knowing I don't have to plan anything. My group leader's got this. The team has got this. I can just follow them and then I'm good. And so, we're great. Shirt. Exactly. Just follow them and you're great. And so, so that's a big part of what we do as well. And so families can choose to do that. They can choose to do their own excursion and request to have a staff member come with them if they want. And so that's an option also.
Yeah.
That is
That's
so cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think I didn't realize that you guys were there for support every step of the way. So even when you said like through breakfast and through everything, because I mean, families with special needs kids, like usually one parent's got to stay back and somebody's got to go through the buffet.
Try going to a buffet line with a child with
you
autism.
don't even know what
tell
you
me,
want to eat by the end of it. Like it's just like a whole stressful.
I'm not even hungry.
Situation. So that is really awesome.
I think one of our biggest things and feedback that we get from families after they cruise is that they were able to sit down and actually have a hot meal. And so, we provide buffet lunch assistance at breakfast and lunch. And then we're actually in main dining for dinner. And so they're like, that kind of scares people at first. They're like, we're going to have a sit down fancy dinner, and it's like, it's like we're there to provide assistance. If if your child needs to get up and go to the restroom, we have staff that will walk them. And so if they just need to get up and take a walk and take a break, and like just kind of roam around, and we have staff that will do that. So we're like, no, you have a seat. We've got this. We got it. And so to be able to just be able to sit and have a hot meal is one of the biggest draws that we have as well. And people just said, I never realized that would be one of the biggest takeaways that I got out of the cruise.
Oh, right? I could 100. By the time I get their meal made and they've sat down, to eat it, they're done and like ransacking the place before I ever get the chance. And it's just like, I totally understand that.
However, as of recent, our son Ezra has started making his own peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Fancy.
With some Hawaiian rolls. And he might tear the kitchen apart, but it's all good.
Still a little independent.
Yeah, he's trying,
right.
and we're proud of him.
Yeah, we're very proud.
Yeah, get there.
Awesome. So we talked about kind of what the day-to-day is, and I'm sure we're hyping everybody up that wants to go. So
I hope so.
How on earth can they book a trip?
Yeah, so there's different ways that you can book one of our cruises or resort stays. And so, like I said, Autism on the Seas is a business. We do run a travel agency, and so you can book it directly through Autism on the Seas, which is great because you then get the access directly to those resources. Yeah. But you can also use your favorite travel agent if you're like, oh, but I have my favorite travel agent that we always use, so we don't want to discredit that either. And so we do support travel agents, and so we do connect with travel agents. We partner with them. And so have your travel agent, contact Autism on the Seas to see how to become a partner and how to partner with us and be able to logistically make that work. Yeah. And so, there's different ways that you can do that. And so the only other thing that I would mention is that we have, there is a service fee that is attached to the services that we offer. So typically it is the base cruise fare. So whatever you're seeing on the market, so let's say you go to a cruise line site and you look up the price of a cruise and you're like, okay, this is the price, this is the one I want. And then there is an Autism on the Sea service fee that is attached. And so you can request a free quote at any time to see what that would be attached to whatever cruise you're looking at. And then there's another service that you can choose to have, and that's a one-to-one service. So you can choose to just be under the umbrella of the general staff and have all of the general staff attend to your family. Or you can choose to have a one-to-one, and that means you have one staff member that is dedicated to your family on the cruise. And so what that gives families is a flexibility to be able to change things if they want within our schedule. So let's say they know their child is not going to do rock wall or doesn't want to do rock wall. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But at that time in our schedule, they may want to take their one-to-one and go do something else as a family at that time. Yeah. Let's say they have an excursion planned and they want to make sure that they have somebody with their family and not just kind of on the off chance of like requesting it. Maybe we don't have enough staff. Yeah. And so, if you have a one-to-one, then you're guaranteed to have somebody that can go with you on your excursions and things like that. And so that's a little bit of a different fee because you're having something extra. Sure. And so, dedicated. So when if they go on the website and they see that's what that one-to-one dedicated service means.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
That makes sense. I mean, I could imagine that being very important. Like people in our boat, people in our boat, back in the day, our son used to elope a lot. So I can imagine being on an excursion. Back then he might have needed a one-on-one, and we're not 100% guaranteed he won't need a one-on-one now.
Right.
With that, So I could understand for sure, like children who elope, maybe children with high support needs. Yeah. It being a very important thing for people. Like
I think the people that do go for the one-to-one service are mostly mostly they give feedback on just how the flexibility of it,
Yeah.
and just knowing that you can change things, and not that you might not be able to when you have general staff, but it's just not a guarantee.
Right.
And knowing that you have it guaranteed in that one-to-one service, and so that's the draw for that.
Yeah, makes
Yep.
sense.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna hit you with an oddball question. It's not on the list.
Oh no, here we go.
What's your favorite part about being on the being on the
Not
boats,
again. No.
being on the ships
Be
with
on the
these
ships.
family?
Yeah. I think my favorite part is getting to know the families. I really enjoy first time cruisers with us, because a lot of times they do come with hesitation. They do come with walls built up, and just to kind of see us chip away at those walls that they've built and allow us to serve them in the way that we know that we can. And then they, come in with some hesitation. They're not sure how this is going to work. And then by the end, like, we're just a big family, and they love everyone, and they're so excited. They want to do it again, or they've already booked another cruise.
They're booking one on the way out.
They are. And so when they come to me and they say, "Oh, we booked our next one," or they're like, "What, when are you on your next cruises?" Like, we want to, cruise. And so that's really kind of neat. I also love, and so just as me personally, we really kind of cater to siblings as well.
Yeah.
Siblings are able to come into respite. They're able to, really participate in the activities as well. And so,
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's
so
so awesome.
That's a really big thing for me too, is to see the siblings get attention also.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's really fun to be able to see them kind of let loose, and for them not to have to do as much work as well,
Right.
or feel like they have to do as
Right.
much work, because we know that siblings will take on that responsibility even if they don't have to. And so to be able to see them let loose and let them play, but then also to, when we have our respite sessions, parents they may choose to go on a date night, they may choose to take a break, and the siblings are in respite with us too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like that when they're like, "Oh, we'd rather hang out with you than go to the regular kids club." That's really awesome. It makes us feel good.
Yeah.
But sometimes our parents will be like, "Hey, we're going to take them with us tonight, and they're going to get one-on-one time with mom and dad tonight."
That's
And
huge.
so
nice.
so that's really cool too, to see that dynamic that really couldn't happen anywhere else if you don't have those resources at home.
That
That
is
sounds like
amazing.
an extremely rare opportunity, to
Yeah.
be
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
Although it's plentiful, like you go on the website, you can see there's a ton of options.
Yeah.
But at the same time, coming from a parent who's never been on a cruise, a lot of us parents, a lot of us families with special needs, like we're kind of off put by the thought of going, on a giant moving vehicle over the ocean. But I
like we're trapped.
It is-
on here.
it is a
like what if
rare-
it goes
Yeah.
bad?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't get off.
but it is a rare thing. I think it's a beautiful thing to see. You know,
Especially, I love that you said that, including the siblings, because I know our son is 3 years old, but he wants to do everything with his brother. Like, he doesn't even understand, like, why does he get to go to therapy and I don't?
Yeah,
Like, he just wants to be a part of everything, and he wants to be with Ezra. And that just sounds amazing. I'm like, when are we going to book ours? Like, let's go.
Right.
just
sounds
stock up on
awesome.
some
Do it.
ginger snacks.
Yes,
Got
we'll
it.
stock up on all the
I'll
sea
tell you
dens.
all the secrets.
Yes.
Last question for you.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you wish families knew ahead of time, before going? Like families like us who've never been before.
I think, one thing that Autism on the Seas does really well is provide resources and support throughout the whole journey. And so one thing I wish families would, either utilize or know more about is those resources that are available to them before they even step on the ship. And so, for example, we have like a parent connect, group where former parents or parents who have cruised prior are available, and they want to talk to families that maybe are hesitant and have questions about, what they should expect. And so as group leaders, so like me, I contact my families, and all of our group leaders do contact all families who are cruising 1 to 2 weeks in advance. And, we go through some different things. We have a guest profile on each child, and, what are their likes, their dislikes, and, what do they really like to do? What are your expectations of a parent as a parent, and things like that. And so we kind of go over those things, but I cannot answer questions as effectively as a parent of a child with
That's
special
true.
needs who has been on a cruise. And so I think that's an invaluable resource that we have. And I wish, and so that they would take hold of that and really utilize that. Other things that we have, like we have social stories. So if your child really needs to, embrace like, okay, what is every step of this journey going to look like? So there's already pre-created social stories online of like, what does it look like getting on the ship? What does the ship, what does the buffet area look like? And so things like that. And so,
awesome.
we provide those resources as well. So you can kind of, start to, get them ready.
Yes.
In a sense, before you even leave the house. And so they can carry it with them the whole time. And then just our Facebook group. Like we have a Facebook community group with parents and people who are interested. Anybody can, join that group, even if you haven't cruised before, and you kind of get a sense of that community that we already have built, so that you can kind of see, where you want to fit in that community. And so it's a really neat experience. But I think just the resources alone, just being able to take advantage of those so that you don't step on the ship day one with so much anxiety, maybe going, I don't know what to expect. Yeah. And so, you're ready.
Those are so great. Because I know for me, like hearing from another parent would set some things at ease. And then also, if you guys don't know what she was talking about with social stories, our son was doing that before we realized what a social story was, but he wanted to see the places we were going before we go.
Yeah.
And it just helped prepare him, like for some children, it's like she said, it's every single activity. They want to see, they want to know that environment. And it just helps set them at ease when they go into it. And that's really amazing that you guys have that available as well.
For sure. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just helps out, especially in, situations. I mean, there's always those unknowns and things that can happen and occur. And so, but to even just in that first day, because day one's always stressful to get on the ship and, make sure, like, where's the room? And I can look at a map all day, but like actually finding the room on a cruise ship, and things like that. And so, but if they kind of know the order and know that, we have an app, and the app is completely chock full of information about your particular cruise. And so you can get familiar with that prior. And so show them exactly, this is where the schedule's going to be, and this is where we're going to look and see what we want to do, and things like that. So there's just a lot that's available to you.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Well,
I love it.
Do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we will be interviewing you on the ship when we go with you. Team Orange, let's go.
Team Orange.
Listen, if you are going or if you want to go on one of these cruises with us, I'm kidding. But if you do, maybe we'll see you on one.
That would be
But
really
listen,
cool.
we are going to be doing a promo code. We're partnering with Autism on the Seas. We're going to be putting a promo code in the description of the video. If you're listening to this on the podcast, in the podcast world, we're going to be putting it in the show notes, the link for Autism on the Seas, specifically from this episode.
Yes.
So we hope to see you on the boat, on the ship, on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
We hope to see you there.
And are you guys, do you guys actively search for volunteers as well? Is that a thing that we could say, hey,
so
if this is something you're interested in?
Same website. So if you're on the website, there is a tab for staff. And so if this is something that, that you're interested in volunteering with, go to that staff tab and see if, if your experience and your job and whatever you do, if it aligns with the qualifications that we need for volunteers, we're always looking for volunteers. So
That's cool.
We're interviewing volunteers every day.
Listen, I'm totally unqualified. I'm about to volunteer right now.
You want to go. That does sound so fun.
But thank you so much, Amanda,
for
your
having
time.
me.
Thank you to Autism on the Seas, not just you, but also your organization.
Sure. I just am a representation of a huge body of people that is a community. So
we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today. Once again, I'm Todd.
I'm Amanda.
And this is Amanda as well. And until next time, we're Not an Island Podcast. Peace.
Peace.